Jeremy Charles DeWitte, born February 10, 1980, is an American serial police impersonator and convicted S** offender. DeWitte has been jailed multiple times for repeatedly impersonating police officers, among other crimes, while working as a funeral procession escort. DeWitte is from Central Florida and was the owner-operator of Metro State Vehicle Protection Services, which provided vehicle escorts to funeral processions. DeWitte claimed to have served in the United States Army Special Forces, to have participated in the Second Battle of Fallujah, and to have had an early medical discharge due to injuries sustained in a parachute jump. In actuality, DeWitte never served in any branch of the armed forces and was in prison during the time he claims to have served. DeWitte was charged in 2001 with impersonating a police officer while a member of a police explorers program. His 2003 impersonation of a police officer resulted in an almost 2-year state prison sentence. In 2005, he was arrested for S** battery of a victim between 12 and 15 years old, mandating him to register as a S offender. In 2009, he was sentenced to an extra 4 years in prison for breaching parole stipulations, although he was released early in October 2011. In 2018, DeWitte was criminally charged for failing to register as a S offender. In October 2019, he was arrested by the Orange County Sheriff's Office a second time for impersonating a police officer in Windermere, Florida. DeWitte was accused of wearing a shirt with a police badge, a bullet-resistant vest, and a helmet with a police-like badge while he worked a funeral procession. In November 2019, he was arrested and accused of impersonating a police officer a third time. In February 2021, he appeared on the television talk show Dr. Phil and denied impersonating police. The next month, he was arrested again for impersonating a police officer. DeWitte had an imitation pistol when arrested. In September 2021, he was sentenced to 18 months in prison, had his driving license suspended for 6 months, and was sentenced to 4 years of probation. After being released from prison around August 2022, DeWitte was again arrested on November 29, 2022, by Osceola County Sheriff's Office for violating his probation conditions. DeWitte informed news channel WFTV that the arrest stemmed from his not shutting down his YouTube channel and that he had lost control of the channel, preventing him from taking the channel offline. In 2023 and 2024, DeWitte was arrested several times on insurance fraud charges and failure to report online accounts and vehicles. On November 1, 2024, DeWitte was convicted and sentenced to nearly 7 years in prison by a jury for failure to register a new motor vehicle as a past S** offender. On January 7, 2025, DeWitte was sentenced to 41 months in federal prison, plus 1 year of supervised release and $70,000 in restitution for filing false tax returns related to his income from his business. Here are some of the news media coverage of him as well as articles about him. There's a lot to go over, but it's interesting when you take into account what all this Dimwit did and kept doing. Hope you enjoy this history lesson. Please keep in mind these are older incidents. I am only using them to show you the insane tactics this fool tried and thankfully in the long run failed. Overlay does not match the audio. It's for show instead of staring at words and photos. January 20th, 2023. Orange County flood. Jeremy DeWitte may have retired his Metro State motorcycle 1 year ago, but the law hasn't finished catching up to the convicted police impersonator. Investigators filed nearly 12 charges against DeWitte Thursday, accusing him of a years-long effort to use his funeral escort business to defraud insurance companies. The first round of accusations related to the registration of DeWitte's company cars and motorcycles. According to an arrest affidavit, DeWitte registered some of his Metro State vehicles with multiple insurance companies under his wife's name and listed them as personal vehicles, in an apparent attempt to evade higher charges put on cars used for business purposes. DeWitte's wife told police she was not involved in the insurance application process for any of their vehicles. Had the truth been revealed about the sirens, lights, and decals on the vehicles, the insurance policy would not have been issued, an employee of one of the insurance companies told detectives. The affidavit said DeWitte's actions represented a common insurance fraud scheme. Investigators added that while the vehicles were registered with the government to Metro State, DeWitte failed to update his S**X offender registration within the required 48-hour period to include every car he owned. Same photos, different crashes. At the same time, DeWitte was under investigation for the registration of his vehicles. Detectives were collecting evidence that he was further defrauding companies with inflated damage estimates from crash scenes. According to the affidavit, DeWitte submitted photos and invoices to an insurance company for a crash that happened in Orlando in May 2020. DeWitte told troopers on scene that his employee was driving the car at the time, but he gave a different recounting of the events to the insurance company. In a recorded statement, DeWitte made comments that indicated he was driving the car, investigators said. The report shows DeWitte gave the insurance company multiple photos of the damage that metadata revealed were taken in 2017 and 2019, up to 3 years before the crash happened. DeWitte also submitted an invoice for repair work to replace his vehicle's lights that investigators said matched an invoice he submitted to another fraudulent claim he made for an incident in Polk County in 2018. While the date was removed from the new submission, the invoice number was the same, a detective wrote. They said charges for the 2018 incident were still pending with the state attorney's office. A representative for that office refused to comment on the case Friday. For the May 2020 crash, investigators said DeWitte received a total of $9,490 from the insurance company, including a $2,000 check for injury claims that he made despite not being the driver of the car. 5 months later, in October 2020, investigators said DeWitte pulled the same stunt with a different insurance company, submitting some of the same photos and invoices that he used after the May crash. Included in that was an invoice for motorcycle parts, which the detective noted made no sense because DeWitte was driving a Chevy Tahoe. After the case was settled for $10,000, investigators interviewed both the other driver and DeWitte's passenger. Both said DeWitte intentionally caused the crash by accelerating into the back of the other car. Defendant informed her he purposely collided with the other vehicle as it was attempting to go around the defendant's vehicle in a turning lane to cause this crash so he would be able to receive funds from an insurance claim, the passenger reportedly told investigators. Despite pleading with a judge for leniency, DeWitte's bond was again denied. He will remain in jail pending a future court date, as well as while prosecutors attempt to convict him for violating the terms of his probation.
First up, we head to Orlando, Florida. The defendant is 39-year-old Jeremy DeWitte. He's been charged with impersonating a police officer.
You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for falsely impersonating an officer.
Once again, is released on bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Turns out DeWitte has quite a history of playing cop. He was convicted of the same charge back in 2001. But DeWitte can't seem to stay out of trouble. And after multiple arrests for impersonating an officer, he's back in court again.
Your name, sir? I'm sorry, Jeremy Charles DeWitte, Your Honor.
This time he's not here for being a fake police officer, but for failing to register a vehicle as a very real sex offender. In 2005, DeWitte was convicted of lewd or lascivious battery involving a victim between 12 and 15 years old.
Mr. DeWitte, you're here today because you're arrested on an arrest warrant for a sex offender violation, failing to register as required. You're also out on bond on 5 charges of falsely impersonating an officer.
The state is requesting his bonds be revoked on his prior cases, giving the new law violation, continued pattern of criminal activity, and he also poses a flight risk.
The prosecution again asks that his bond be revoked. But once again, DeWitte catches a break.
No, I'm going to leave the bonds in place.
As for his remaining impersonation charges, until his trial begins, DeWitte remains free on bond. We kick things off in Orange County, Florida, where the defendant is making his second appearance here on court cam.
Jeremy DeWitte. Did I say that right?
Yes, sir.
41-year-old Jeremy DeWitte is charged with carrying a concealed weapon. The Orange County Sheriff's Office is very familiar with DeWitte.
Oh, God, not him again. It's Jeremy.
Since DeWitte's been arrested several times in the past and convicted once for impersonating a police officer.
What are you doing? What the it look like I'm doing? Get the over before you find out.
Stop pretending you're a police officer.
DeWitte runs a security company that provides escort service during funeral processions. But he has a long history of using this business to drive recklessly through traffic, block intersections,
Go past me! Go past me!
and confront other drivers when he believes they're disrupting his services.
Hey! Pull over! Pull over!
Police eventually caught up with DeWitte, and he was charged in 2 different counties with impersonating an officer and failing to register as a sex offender. He was released on bond, and that's when police catch up with him again, 10 months later. A deputy stops him along with one of his employees when he sees DeWitte carrying what appears to be a firearm.
Don't reach for that firearm! Walk away from your bike! Keep your hands up! Keep your hands up! Go down to your knees! Do not reach for that firearm!
You're being secure because you're openly carrying a firearm.
What?
You're openly carrying a firearm.
It's illegal to openly carry a firearm in Florida, and after he's placed in cuffs, the deputy tries to remove DeWitte's helmet, which the faux police officer does not appreciate.
What are you yanking my helmet
I'm
off?
trying to identify you because I can't see you.
Trying to identify me?
When DeWitte learns why he's being arrested, he goes ballistic.
Carrying a pepper ball, you already know that.
I do not know that. That is a firearm. That is a firearm right now. All right, Jeremy, you're being arrested for carrying a concealed weapon.
Concealed, it was in plain view.
That's not plain view. That's concealed. That holster's concealed.
What are you talking about?
DeWitte is furious with police, and there seems to be only one thing on his mind.
Give me a lieutenant! Give me a lieutenant! It was in plain view! It's in plain view! Give me a lieutenant! Sit down! Sit down and be quiet! Where's the lieutenant? Where's the lieutenant? Where's the lieutenant?
But the real police don't take kindly to his demands.
Give me a lieutenant! This is not right! Are you listening to me? Are you listening to me? I'm a deputy. I'm not an officer. You don't tell me what to do. I understand. Stop yelling at me, and I'm going to stop yelling at you. Do not yell. Do not raise your voice at me. Yes, sir. Do you understand? I understand. You've already asked the sergeant for a lieutenant. You don't get to pick and choose who comes to the traffic stop.
DeWitte's taken to the station and officially charged with carrying a concealed weapon. But when it's later determined it was just an unloaded pepper ball gun,
this online identifies it as a Glock, basically a Glock replica. Can you show me on here anywhere, I mean, I don't know why you'd have a light on a less lethal, but can you show me anywhere on here where it gives anybody the idea that this is not a firearm, that it's a less lethal?
I can't answer that. I don't make those. But you know they're less lethal.
No, I'm asking. If I saw this, I wouldn't know that.
That's where you're. But you can say that for somebody else.
Okay.
How's it going, sir?
Good. How are you?
the charges are dropped.
Wherever you want to go. Do you need a ride? Where can I take you?
Isn't it amazing how nice you guys are when you screw up? Thank you. Let's go. Come on.
But DeWitt's far from being out of the woods. Because of this recent arrest, his current bond is revoked. So DeWitte goes before the judge to clarify the situation.
Your Honor, I'm sorry. I was on bond. They revoked my bond with a new charge, but that charge was dropped.
He has approximately 10 or 11 other cases that he's currently pursuing.
Oh, you got a bunch of different cases that are keeping you.
Right.
DeWitte's eventually set free with his bond back in place, but will still stand trial for impersonating a police officer, and if found guilty, he could be looking at 5 years in prison.
A man who has become notorious here in Central Florida for impersonating cops is now under arrest once again. Jeremy DeWitte is now in trouble for violating his probation. West News' Amanda Dukes joins us live from the jail right now. And Amanda, what exactly is he accused of this time?
Well, Jeremy DeWitte will soon be transferred here to the Orange County Jail. He's accused of failing to shut down a YouTube page on which he gained quite a following. Shutting down that page was a requirement of his probation.
All right, Mr. DeWitte, you're here on 2 out-of-county warrants, both out of Orange County.
Jeremy DeWitte, who rose to notoriety after being charged multiple times with impersonating a police officer, has found himself in trouble again. Osceola County deputies nabbed DeWitte Tuesday after a reported standoff in Kissimmee. DeWitte just got out of prison in September after serving 15 months and is now accused of violating his probation. According to the warrant, he was supposed to close down the official YouTube channel for Metro State, his funeral escort service company, within 60 days of his release, but he failed to do so. DeWitte, who has posted over 50 videos on the page, claims his YouTube account got hacked and he's innocent.
I can't even shut it down. I can't even use it. I can't even post on it. I can't even shut it down. And I explained that to probation multiple times. We even showed them the proof, and they still put a warrant out for my arrest for not taking down the channel.
DeWitte's arrest is just his latest trouble with the law. In 2019, Windermere police discovered several videos of him in his helmet cam pulling cars over illegally throughout Central Florida while he was a funeral escort.
Get over!
Stop pretending you're a police officer.
Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez made clear his feelings about DeWitte.
The guy's definitely out of control, and I don't know if it's a personality issue or a power issue, but hopefully he'll go to jail now for a few years so he can start realizing that this is not the right thing to do.
DeWitte is being held on no bond, and since his warrant is out of Orange County, he will soon be transferred to that jail. After his arrest, he was defiant about his fate.
I'm not going back to prison, not today. Not for a technical violation when we have proof that...
We do only funeral escorts? Only funeral escorts, and these guys have been harassing us, he shouted, as deputies ushered him from a patrol car in handcuffs. Only funeral escorts of dead family members and women and children that need our help. DeWitte's first recent arrest came when a Windermere police officer saw a funeral procession being conducted at McGuire Road and Park Avenue. DeWitte was riding a black and gray motorcycle with colored lights, an air horn and a siren as he crossed solid double yellow lines, prompting the officer to pull him over, an arrest affidavit said. During the stop, the bike's tag came back as having been stolen, the affidavit said. DeWitte was uncooperative, police said, pulling away, yelling and using a communication device attached to his helmet to call for backup, and was wearing apparel similar to a police officer, including a badge, bullet-resistant vest, and the words "motor officer" on his helmet. He also wore a fully equipped duty vest, including what appeared to be a Glock, though police later determined it was an unloaded BB gun, which lacked an orange tip to indicate it was fake, pepper spray, a baton, handcuffs, 2 pocket knives, and a radio, according to the affidavit. DeWitte was not licensed to act as a security officer, the affidavit said. He was booked into the jail and later released on bond. The second incident happened when an off-duty Orange deputy sheriff said he was driving with his wife and child when he saw what appeared to be a police motorcycle holding up traffic at Minnesota and Orlando Avenues. Soon, a Chevy Tahoe, which also appeared to be a police vehicle, pulled into the intersection, while the motorcycle sped off, an affidavit said. This continued until they arrived at Princeton Street and Orlando, where the deputy said he was confronted by DeWitte. DeWitte had been driving the Tahoe, which was blocking a traffic lane and had flashing amber and purple strobe lights activated, the affidavit said. He exited and began directing traffic, telling the deputy to get out of his funeral procession, according to the affidavit. As the deputy passed, DeWitte slapped the deputy's front fender with both hands, then put his right hand on his gun holster in a threatening manner, according to the deputy, his wife, and a witness. The couple had their 4-year-old child in the back seat, the affidavit said. The deputy said he identified himself as law enforcement and told DeWitte what he was doing was illegal. "It doesn't matter. Get out of my escort, boy," DeWitte replied, according to the affidavit. As the deputy drove off and called 911, he said several Metro State vehicles followed him to Blue Jacket Park. Though DeWitte wasn't immediately arrested, a man described as his employee, 35-year-old Randall Brocious, was arrested for carrying a real 9mm handgun on his gun belt. In an interview at Sheriff's Office headquarters, investigators said DeWitte admitted striking the truck but said, "I didn't know he was a cop." The third incident allegedly came when a woman told investigators she was stopped at Princeton Street and Mills Avenue when she heard sirens approaching from behind her and saw a white and black marked motorcycle approaching, according to another affidavit. DeWitte entered the intersection and began directing traffic, ordering the woman to move in order to let other vehicles enter the intersection. At first, she thought DeWitte was police, but became suspicious after noticing that the motorcade vehicles were marked Metro State. She called 911 to report the activity. Sheriff's investigators said they confirmed the woman's account using footage from DeWitte's own body-worn camera, which matched what she described. The affidavit said DeWitte's gear was convincing, from numerous markings with phrases like motor officer and motor unit to insignia that resembled police symbols. He wore clothing similar to what officers wear, and his vehicles were painted similarly to those of police. While state law allows Metro State to lead a funeral procession, a lead vehicle is only allowed to display amber or purple lights, not both, and is not allowed to act as law enforcement, violate traffic laws, or use sirens or horns, Sheriff's investigator Sergeant Keith Vidler wrote. State corrections records show DeWitte was sentenced to nearly 2 years in state prison for impersonating law enforcement in 2003. He has been a registered S*X offender since a 2005 conviction for lewd or lascivious battery involving a victim between 12 and 15 years old. He was initially sentenced to a year in state prison in that case, court dockets show. However, a probation violation landed him back behind bars. He was sentenced to an additional 4 years in state prison in 2009, but was released early in October 2011, records show. During a first appearance, a judge initially said she planned to revoke DeWitte's bond in the Windermere incident, but changed her mind after DeWitte argued his new cases stemmed from body camera footage taken the same day as his first arrest, contrary to the affidavits. Instead, the judge set bond at $5,000. State business records list Jeremy DeWitte as registered agent for Metro State Vehicle Protection Unit, which has been active since February. The paperwork was electronically signed by Jeremy DeWitte.
You're watching exclusive video of the latest arrest of Jeremy DeWitte. He and another man dressed in similar clothing were pulled over on I-4 near Fairbanks, but only DeWitte was placed in handcuffs by Orange County Sheriff's deputies and walked to a patrol car for transport to the Orange County Jail.
That officer right there disarmed the security officer.
A man who wishes to be identified only as Alex recorded this cell phone video minutes before we arrived and described a loud confrontation between officers and the two men on motorcycles.
They're telling them to get on the ground, they're yelling at them, and they're pointing guns at them this whole time. They let the second guy go with his gun belt when they took the gun belt away from the guy that they arrested.
DeWitte is a convicted sex offender who served 4 years in prison for lewd and lascivious assault on a teenage girl. According to the arrest affidavit, DeWitte is now charged with carrying a concealed weapon by a convicted felon. Inside his law enforcement-style firearm holster, the deputies say they found a tear gas gun or chemical weapon. It's the same kind of pepper spray device that DeWitte showed WESH 2 Investigates when we first met in September of 2019. That was right after his arrest for impersonating an officer. DeWitte claims his security business, primarily escorting funeral processions, is legit, though his own helmet cam video, seized for evidence, shows him variously rude, some would argue threatening, to drivers during those processions.
Stop pretending you're a police officer.
Listen, I know what I'm allowed to do and what I'm not allowed to do.
He has consistently denied being a fake cop.
At no point should I ever been pulled over. At no point should I have ever been put in handcuffs.
And his attorney says the latest arrest is just more proof, quote, local law enforcement continues to harass my client. In Orange County, Greg Fox, WESH 2 News.
Jeremy, it looks pretty easy to delete an account. Why can't you just follow the law?
Well, because somebody hacked that account, changed the username, you changed the passwords.
He claims he tried to delete it.
We multiple times tried to take down a YouTube channel that was hacked.
You can definitely deactivate your account, so he's full of it.
We just shut down 90 mother.
Back in 2019, Windermere police discovered several videos of DeWitte pulling cars over illegally through Central Florida while he was a funeral escort.
And he'd go around directing traffic, stopping people, stopping cars. I mean, the guy's definitely out of control. And
Do you do this for the attention?
No.
How does it feel to be known as the notorious fake cop?
Fake cop, huh? Well, that's great.
A man who has become notorious here in Central Florida for impersonating cops is now under arrest once again. Jeremy DeWitte is now in trouble for violating his probation. WESH 2's Amanda Dukes joins us live from the jail right now. And Amanda, what exactly is he accused of this time?
Well, Jeremy DeWitte will soon be transferred here to the Orange County Jail. He's accused of failing to shut down a YouTube page on which he gained quite a following. Shutting down that page was a requirement of his probation.
All right, Mr. DeWitte, you're here on 2 out-of-county warrants, both out of Orange County.
Jeremy DeWitte, who rose to notoriety after being charged multiple times with impersonating a police officer, has found himself in trouble again. Osceola County deputies nabbed DeWitte Tuesday after a reported standoff in Kissimmee. DeWitte just got out of prison in September after serving 15 months and is now accused of violating his probation. According to the warrant, he was supposed to close down the official YouTube channel for Metro State, his funeral escort service company, within 60 days of his release, but he failed to do so. DeWitte, who has posted over 50 videos on the page, claims his YouTube account got hacked and he's innocent.
I can't even shut it down. I can't even use it. I can't even post on it. I can't even shut it down. And I explained that to probation multiple times. We even showed them the proof, and they still put a warrant out for my arrest for not taking down the channel.
DeWitte's arrest is just his latest trouble with the law. In 2019, Windermere police discovered several videos of him in his helmet cam pulling cars over illegally throughout Central Florida while he was a funeral escort.
Get over!
Stop pretending you're a police officer.
Osceola County Sheriff Marcos Lopez made clear his feelings about DeWitte.
The guy's definitely out of control, and I don't know if it's a personality issue or a power issue, but hopefully he'll go to jail now for a few years so he can start realizing that this is not the right thing to do.
DeWitte is being held on no bond, and since his warrant is out of Orange County, he will soon be transferred to that jail. After his arrest, he was defiant about his fate.
I'm not going back to prison, not today. Not for a technical violation when we have proof that...
Now, during his initial appearance today, DeWitte asked the judge to expedite things on his behalf, saying that his wife is homesick with COVID and he has a 2-year-old child. The judge simply responded that the paperwork would be submitted. Live in Orange County, Amanda Dukes reporting, WESH 2 News.
Thank you for watching part 1. I hope you enjoyed it. Much more coming very soon. Have a good day, everyone, and please remember to hit the like button if you liked the video.